Hello everybody, welcome back to the MeowMaJeff53 YouTube channel with your ever effervescent host, myself, MeowMaJeff53. Now, you might be looking at the title of this video and saying, hey, I thought we were doing the rest of the Premier League third kits. Well, fantastic news, I'm still waiting on two of them. It's been a week and a half since the last video, and still not out. You know, we're in the first international break, and still there's clubs that haven't released all their kits, which is woke nonsense. But anyway, I thought, well, I want to do a video on something. So, I thought, why not rate each of the home kits of the championship clubs, because some of these championship clubs have quite nice kits, you know. Maybe there could be a few bangers in there, you know, you never know. I don't know. I don't even know what half of them look like right now. So, we're going to start off alphabetically, as always. Of course, there are 24 teams in the championship, so I'll try and be a bit more terse with my explanations and my opinions. Crack straight on with the first one in the alphabet, which is Blackburn Rovers. So, Blackburn Rovers, one-time Premier League champions. Alan Shearer used to play for them. They hate Burnley. Those are the three things that I know about Blackburn. Oh, Roque Santa Cruz and Morts Gamst Pedersen. I know them as well. I really like this Blackburn kit. I think it's really quite a smart kit for them. I like the use of the red on the inside of the collar, which you probably won't be able to see on the picture. But it's like a red inlay. It's a callback to the kit that they wore when they won the Premier League all those many years ago. Nearly 30 years it's been since then. 97, I believe they won it. I do think it's kind of hard to do a half and half kit like super well. Like, it never looks like something you would want to wear out and about. But I think as football kits go, especially for, you know, this second division, they've got a really quite... I'm hesitant to say the word classy because, you know, I don't know how classy a half blue and half white shirt can be. As a football shirt goes for this division, I think this is certainly up there. I'm going to give this a very nice 6.9. No, I'm going to give it higher than 6.9. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's very solid. So our second team of our ratings today, we have Bristol City. Of course, one of the two major Bristol clubs, the other one in League One. Will I do League One? Maybe. I don't know. I'll see how bored I get in the next few days. Okay, so Bristol City, it's got like a very faint checkerboard pattern on the print of the shirt, just with a slightly different shade of red. Like a diamond, like a stretched out diamonds kind of thing on the collar. It's produced by O'Neill's as well, which is traditionally a GAA manufacturer. They produce basically all of the GAA kits. I think it's alright. The Hubu sponsor doesn't offend me. It's just pretty standard. I know a lot of people don't like it that much, but I actually don't mind the Bristol badge. A lot of people obviously prefer the older one, and in fairness, I prefer the original. Well, not the original, but the previous one, because, you know, it feels a bit more prestigious and whatever. But I do think this one, the current one, isn't too bad. I think it's quite nice. As these like more modernised, minimalist badges go, it's one of the better ones. I'm going to give this kit a 6.5. I think it's quite nice. It's giving me a lot of Barnsley vibes, especially with like the big round white collar. But no, I think it's quite nice. 6.5 for Bristol. Kit number 3, we have Burnley, who just been relegated from the Premier League, of course, and they've also moved over from Umbro to Castor. And I'll be real with you folks, JJ Watts, I know you're on the board, and obviously you're watching. You should have stuck with Umbro, brother. This kit, it's not good. Ooh, honey, this kit stinks. The sponsor looks terrible. It looks really big, and it's an eyesore. Doesn't blend with the kit whatsoever on the home or the away kit. The shade of blue that they've used looks wrong. I don't like the patterning on the claret of the shirt. It's Castor. I just don't think there's any positives to take from this. I don't mind the sort of, the claret and blue badge. Like, they've just made the badge claret and blue rather than having, the yellow in it and stuff. But I just think it's kind of lazy. Like, the kit just looks lazy. It just looks like a really crap training top, if you ask me. So yeah, Burnley, unfortunately, Blackburn are going to win this. They're going to win this derby today, even though they can't win the actual derby for love nor money most of the time. Burnley, you're going to get 3.5. Stinks. Womp womp. So now we've got Cardiff City. Up the Cardiff. Up the Bluebirds. I don't really know how I feel about this. It's another New Balance kit. They moved to New Balance last year, and I thought the one last year was alright. One of the better ones I've had in a couple of years. This one, I don't know. I'm looking at the whole slate of kits they've got right now. I don't think any of them look particularly fantastic. The choice to change the badge, don't know if it's a retro badge. It's giving me retro badge vibes. It's basically what it is. They've taken the circle from the crest, just enlarged it. I don't think I like it. Like the colour of the Bluebird is different to the blue they use on the shirt, so it kind of looks wrong. And it's a bit of an eyesore. I think the chevron going through the New Balance and the Cardiff badge looks bad. Like, if it was going like that, like, the old 09-010 Nike template kit, I think the chevron on it looks poor. I think the choice of blue, I would have preferred a darker blue. And the Visit Malaysia sponsor it looks like somebody whipped it up in word art on a PowerPoint in about 15 seconds. So, no, not for me at all. Not liking this Cardiff kit. I think I'm going to give it 4, because it's not as, gross to my eyes as the Burnley one is. 4 out of 10. Now we've got Coventry, who, of course, 2 seasons ago now, were in the playoff final against Luton Town, which they lost after Fankati Dabo missed his penalty. Really boring, isn't it? Which is a massive shame, because their kit last year was really good. They had a lovely home kit, they had a really nice away kit, and I can't remember what their third kit was, if they had one at all. Hummel did a really good job last year. I don't mind them getting rid of the King of Shave sponsor, because I didn't like that particularly. But no, this home kit, it looks very... I'm going to say it again, I've said it for a few teams now. Very training kitty. It's basically just a plain light blue with a Monzo sponsor. I don't mind the Monzo sponsor, that's fine, and they do change the Monzo sponsor's colours for each of the kits, which again, I don't mind that at all. But it's a Hummel kit. You always sort of expect quite a bit from Hummel. Didn't really get it this time. For me, this Coventry kit is very boring, but it's not bad. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Straight down the line. It's just plain. Next up we have Derby County, who of course have just come up from League One as runners-ups. Runners-up? Yeah, runners-up. I don't hate this kit. I don't think it's as good as their kit last year. I don't like the sponsor. I like the pattern on the collar and the sleeves. Other than that, it's just a pretty bland white Puma template kind of kit. I don't really have a lot to say on it, other than the sponsor's not nice. The sponsor's bad. Like FanHub. What is FanHub? Sounds like an unscrupulous website, if you know what I'm saying. You go on Instagram with a girl, she's got a Linktree link in her bio. It sounds like something you might find on that, if you get what I'm alluding to. Anyway, I don't hate the kit, I don't like the kit very much. There's a little more going on here than there is in the Coventry kit though, so I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. Next up, we've got Hull. All City AFC getting mauled by the Tigers. I believe it's their second kit produced by Kappa now. I thought their kit last year was really nice. They focused a lot more on the black than on the orange, and I thought it looked really nice. This season's kit, I mean, I don't hate it. No, I feel like I'm doing it a disservice by saying I don't hate it. I do actually quite like it. I like Hull's colour scheme quite a lot. You know, obviously, Sport Wolves, we wear like a goldy orange. They wear a darker orange. I like an orange kit, what can I say? I do quite like it. It gives me quite retro vibes, which obviously you wouldn't normally get with a Kappa kit, because Kappa kits are always way too slim, because they make them super tight for no reason. The stripes are a good thickness. Sponsors, not terrible. You know, it's an airline, at least it's not a betting company. Collar's alright. I like there's a tiny little like trim line here that shows where the shoulder and the sleeve split, but also the black line on the outside of the shirt continues into the one on the shoulder, or on the sleeve, sorry, and I do like that attention to detail. I'm going to give this kit a 6.5 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. I preferred the one last year, but I could have done a hell of a lot worse. Next up, we have Red Bull Leeds, or I'm sorry, we have Leeds United. Why did I say Red Bull Leeds? Well, look at the kit. Does that or does that not look exactly like a Red Bull Leipzig kit, just with a bit of blue on it? It's so Red Bull team coded, this kit. The fact that all the Red Bull teams wear a combination of red and white, and occasionally a bit of yellow, and occasionally a little bit of blue, depending on which team they are. It makes this kit look so much like Leeds are just another one of the Red Bull line of teams, and I think it's the first kit that Red Bull have sponsored outside of their own teams. So maybe in the next few years, maybe they're going to make an approach to buy out Leeds, and then finally they'll have that team in the English pyramid that they've wanted for a while. I don't dislike this kit though. I do want to get this out of the way. I think it's a perfectly fine kit. It's just a very generic Adidas template kit, and the only interesting thing about it is the Red Bull sponsor. It's the only real thing worth talking about on the home kit. Blue trim, tiny bit of yellow here and there. You know, it's a very standard Leeds Adidas kit. Like, they've all basically looked the exact same. The only difference is your sponsor on the front. So I don't really have a lot to say. I think it's alright, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10, I guess. Next up, we've got the Hatters, Luton Town, and it's just their home kit from last year that they wore in the Prem. Don't like the gradient line. It's quite a dark shade of orange. The Utilita sponsor makes me think of Huddersfield. Don't like the collar very much. I don't know, man. I don't have anything to say about this kit. I didn't like it particularly when it first came out, and since then my opinion's not really changed. The only player I can ever see wearing that kit is a player that's already left, Ross Barkley. I don't know, it's just, I don't like it. So 4.5 out of 10. Now we've got the Borough, Middlesbrough. And their home kit, it stinks, brother. This looks like one of those shit kits that's like a team, like, not to call the team shit, but it looks like one of those kits that someone like Morecambe would have had in the late 2000s, mid 2010s, when they're like in like the National League. Looks like one of them kind of kits. It looks wanky, wanky, wank. The Unibet sponsor I've never liked. Weirdly, it looks too small. Like, the text looks too small, especially like in the little tiny white box. The white stripe across, I don't know if it's a callback to an old Borough kit, but it stinks. Like, it looks naff. I don't really have any other words to describe it. I just think it looks so non-leaguey. It looks like a Sunday League team shirt. It's crap. Araya, or Uria, however the fuck you say your name. Stinky shirt, 3 out of 10. Now we've got Millwall, the Lions. Fun fact about Millwall, my uncle lives very close to the Den, so he goes to a couple of the matches. He's not a Millwall supporter, but he just lives 5 minutes away, so he's just like, you know what, if they're playing, I'll pop down. So there you go, that's my connection with Millwall. And I believe this is Millwall's first kit by Araya, who obviously I just slated in the last one. This one's a lot better. Got a nice button-up collar. I don't mind the little hoops at the bottom. I think they're pretty fun. Only real complaint is why have you got a sponsor as My Guava? What are we are fruits sponsoring football clubs now? Am I gonna look at the third kits and see that Aston Villa are now sponsored by Dole Bananas? Like, what's the crack? What's going on? Other than having a bizarre sponsor, though, this kit's pretty nice. I think, realistically, I'm going to give this kit a 6 out of 10. It's better work than the Borough kit, that's for sure. But it's still not like anything super special. And also, rest in peace, Mateo Sarkic. Former Wolf. You know, once you're a Wolf, always a Wolf. Really tragic what happened with him. Yeah. Will be missed, brother. More power to you. Yeah, Millwall, the home kit, 6 out of 10. Just taking a quick sippy break, sipping my Iron Brew. I'm not sponsored, but if they do want to sponsor me, I do love Iron Brew. A lot. Our next kit up is Norwich. Traditionally a yo-yo club. I think this is now their 3rd or 4th season they've spent down in the Championship. And they sold the best player in the summer. The only one they kept around is Josh Sargent. So, this kit is okay. It's not as Norwichy as a lot of the ones that they've had in the past. You know, a lot less green, for one. It's very yellow. It's basically just a yellow kit with green trim, which I feel like is quite different for Norwich. I know they normally like hoops and stuff, hoops or stripes, or just the green has to be somewhere on the kit. No, I think this is okay. They've got like a little checkerboard pattern with different shades of yellow. Obviously you've got the green trim. The Blakely sponsor doesn't look terrible. Like, you know, it's just kind of there. Yeah, I don't hate this. I also don't mind Norwich's revamped badge. I think it looks okay. But yeah, Norwich, you can get a 6 out of 10 as well. Alright, so going from one yellow kit to another yellow kit, we've got Oxford United. Their first season in the Championship in quite a long time. Obviously they won the playoffs to get up. Who did they beat in the final? I think it was Bolton, maybe? Who did they beat in the final? I don't remember. Or Peterborough, one of the two. I don't really know how I feel about this. I actually quite liked their home kit from the season before. The obviously yellow base, and then they had navy stripes, like very dark blue navy stripes. I thought it looked quite nice, you know. This one, unfortunately, it sort of suffers from the same problem that quite a lot of these kits that just sort of go with the one base colour and then little specks of the actual like secondary colour throughout it suffer from. You know, same with the Coventry kit, and in a different way, same as the Burnley kit. It just kind of gives me training top vibes again, you know. It's just like yellow with a kind of generic pattern on it. It feels like a lot of the character's been taken out of the top, and it's a shame because both of their other kits, the away and third kits, are actually quite nice. This one's just very boring, very standard. Oxford look a decent team, so I feel like they may end up staying up this year. So hopefully they can get a much better kit in the Championship next year if they do stay up. But this one's a bit of a miss for me. It's going to be a 4.5 out of 10. Next up, we have Plymouth, who, let's be real, they're probably going down this year. They look fucking terrible. Good lord, they look wank. But last year they had a really nice kit, like a really nice kit, really lovely shades of green used on it. Of course, you know, one player that springs to mind, Morgan Whittaker. He had an absolutely barnstorming season last year for Plymouth. I don't know how they managed to get him for £1 million from Swansea. That was horrendous dealing from Swansea. Like how the team has gotten significantly worse this year, so has the kit. I don't like the Times New Roman font of the Classic Builders sponsor. I feel like the white on the kit doesn't go with the green. They've chosen a different green to last year. It's like quite a bit more of like a gradient, but there's like a diamond tile pattern on there, which I'm not a big fan of. This kit smacks of relegation. This kit, I think, you know, the minute they revealed this kit, you knew it was done, right? You knew they were gone. So, yeah, for me, I think this is going to be probably a 4 out of 10. Maybe, yeah, 4 out of 10. I was going to say maybe a 3.5, but I feel like that's a little harsh, because it's not, like, awful. 4 out of 10, though, that is fair, in my opinion. Now we've got Portsmouth. Of course, Portsmouth, a proper Barclays team, right? Proper Barclays team. Harry Redknapp at the wheel, Ben Jarney, Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe, Nico Cranshaw, however you say it. Real proper Barclays team. But they've not been in the Premier League since, God, 2008, I think. They fell off big style. Obviously, it's because they had a tremendous amount of financial problems, probably brought on by signing players like Peter Crouch, Ben Jarney, Jermaine Defoe, Nico Cranshaw. This Portsmouth kit, though, it's not very fun to look at. This, no. It's just a Nike template. I think it's the exact same template that they used for the Brighton away kit that I reviewed the other week. Obviously it's just blue and then dark blue as the two trim colours, so it's not like hurting your eyes like that. It's just very boring, you know. Nike do not give a shit when it comes to lower league teams. They will just give them what they're given and say get on with it. The University of Portsmouth sponsor's not terrible though, so I don't know, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10. You know, it's marked down for just being the exact same template kit that you'll have seen a million times. So, sorry Portsmouth. Now we're on to the first ever Invincible team, one of two to do it in the English football pyramid, Preston North End. They won 2 league titles, one of them Invincible, but that was also in the 1890s, so nobody gives a shit anymore. This is Preston's second season, I believe, with Castor. They had them last year, and their kit was generic and boring. It was just basically a plain white kit with a little bit of blue on there. And this one is basically exactly the same, but there's like a sash pattern printed on. I mean, that's kind of cool, you know. Doesn't make the kit look much better, not really, but don't look terrible. I don't hate the Par Group sponsor as well. I don't really know what they are. It looks science related, but I think it looks okay. This is one of the least offensive looking Castor kits I've seen in a while. I'm gonna give this a 5.5 out of 10. Slight markup for having the sash, because at least it's not just a plain white kit. Ooh, I can tell we're getting towards the end now. QPR, another bit of a Barclays team, you know. Harry Redknapp again, and Neil Warnock, and even a bit of Sparky Mark, I believe. Sparky Mark Hughes. I don't like this kit very much though. I've actually liked most of QPR's kits over the last few years. They've had Araya the entire time, and they've done a really good job with QPR for a number of years now. You know, they're like quite classy looking, you know, Keep it simple but classy. Blue and white hoops. Looks good. Can't complain. This one, I feel like they've just fiddled with it a little too much. So you've got a little slit here. Doesn't look very good. You've got the bits of the hoops coming off the collar into the shoulder. Doesn't look particularly great. And then, in addition to all that, you've got a gradient on your hoops. Why do we have a gradient on the hoops? It looks bad. Sponsor's not very fun either. It's another betting sponsor. And you're going to be where, another betting sponsor, where, stop complaining, where. I'm going to complain about it all I like. I think it looks shit. Copy bet. Ooh. 4 out of 10. No. 3.5 out of 10, actually. Just because that sponsor's pissing me off. 3.5 out of 10. Next up, we've got the Blades. Come on, you Blades, Sheffield United. I feel like I've seen this kit before, you know. It looks very, very similar to the kit that Sheffield United had when they won promotion 2 years ago. You know, obviously they came second in the championship when realistically they weren't a very good team. They just had Iliman and Jai. Ahmedodzic looked pretty good as well. I think they still had Sander Berge as well. Yeah, it's just a pretty forgettable kit. I don't think I hate it. No, I don't. Well, actually, no, I know I don't hate it. The black pinstripes through the white stripes is novel. But other than that, it's pretty boring. Black collar, kind of fun. Like, you know, I don't know. There's not really a huge amount I can say about this one. It's just kind of exists. 5 out of 10. Now we're on to Sheffield Wednesday, of course, and their kit is at least a little more inventive. A lot of thin blue stripes, got a little bit of a button-up collar. Of course, their kit's produced by Macron. I like their badge. It's fun. I've just realised I actually don't really have anything to say about this kit as I'm looking at it. It is just a Sheffield Wednesday kit. At least the Sheffield United kit was doing something a bit different by having the pinstripes through the white lines. This one is just generic blue stripes on a white shirt. The one last year tried something different and I thought it looked okay. This one, no, not for me. I think this one again is just going to be another 5 out of 10, same as Sheffield United. Boring. Next up we've got Stoke City, the Potters, one of my local clubs from where I grew up. Not the one I ended up sporting though, because, you know, Wolves Eye way, and also I got family over there. If they hadn't have centralised the Stoke and Macron badges on this kit, I would have said, are you pulling my leg, or is this literally just the kit that they had like 2-3 years ago? Because it's really boring. I also don't like Stoke's decision as a club to stop using the blue on their kits now. I actually quite like them having the blue because it made them stand out a bit more. Do I hate this kit? No, of course I don't. Again though, I feel like it falls into the exact same bracket that both of the Sheffield clubs does, where it's just kind of boring. It looks like a kit they already had, not doing anything new. It's not doing anything exciting, barring centralising its badges. Meh. You know, like, I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10 because I kind of like the stripes down the sleeve. I like the stripe down the sleeve. That's about it. 5.5 out of 10. Alright, next up, Sunderland. This is their first season with Macron as a shirt manufacturer. And you know what? I think it looks alright. I think Sunderland probably have the best spread of home, away and third kits in the league. I think the away kit's really nice. Pretty boring, barring the fact he uses a retro badge, but again, it's still nice. I think the Sunderland kit definitely benefits from having the chevrons on the sleeve, because at least it gives the kit a little something. A Spread X sports sponsor, it's just kind of, you know. But I think the thickness of the lines going down the shirt is probably right. I feel like the white outline on the Sunderland badge I don't like. I think they could have just left it, or a black outline may have worked a little better. especially when the Hummel badge is in black as well. Like, it feels like they're not sticking to the pickings, you know? That made no sense. Either way, the Sunderland kit, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, yeah. I'm sticking with that. 6 out of 10. Next up, we've got the Swans. Wah. That's not a very good swan noise. Swansea. It's pretty boring, isn't it? It's not terrible, and I do like the touches of orange. You know, it makes me think of the 2013-14 season with Michu. It is nice. I do like the trim on the sleeves and the collar. It's just a boring kit. It's fun that it's got a coffee sponsor, though. That's something you don't see every day. So I'm going to give them extra points for that, just because it's not a gambling sponsor. It's coffee. That's great. You know, you had Millwall with its guava, and now you got Swansea with its coffee. How fun's that? Swansea, you can get a 6. Get a 6 out of 10. Why not? Nearly at the end here, fellas and fellettes. We've got Watford, who have gone for quite a different approach to the last couple of years. The last couple of years with Kelme, they've had some of the messiest, most disgusting looking home kits known to man. And this year they've actually cleaned it up, and they've gone back to the roots, and they're using a predominantly yellow base. And what do you know? It's good. C'est good. You know? I do think that the Mr. Q sponsor is ginormous. Like, way too big. I also thought that about the steak sponsor they had. It was way too big as well. They're both just ginormous sponsors. But the Mr. Q one doesn't offend me as much until I find out it's a betting sponsor, in which case it will still offend me. But I like the shade of yellow they've used. It's like more of like a dulled out, kind of darker, almost warmer kind of yellow, rather than like a lot of people go for like a very bright yellow. And on their away kit they've got like a little white, they've got a little yellow sash with a little red bit as well. It's quite a light yellow on that. On the actual home kit though, it's a bit darker, it's a bit warmer, you know, a bit calmer. I like that. Little pinstripes down the shirt, I like that. The collar, a little bit of red in there, I like that. I like a lot about this Watford kit, I can't lie. And you know what, even though Watford has given me eternal PTSD for what they did in that FA Cup semi-final to us, or Gerard Deulofeu was at least, I'm going to give this kit a 7 out of 10. Very solid work from Watford on the home kit front. And finalement, we have the scum, West Brom. Now I'm going to play it fair. I'm going to review the kit fairly. It's a 0 out of 10. No, it's not 0 out of 10. It's actually not that bad. Of the kits that they've had in the last few years, it seems a little classier. You know, it's got a bun-up collar, and that always gets like at least an extra 1 from me. Ideal Heating sponsor is still really funny to me because it means that the Boilerman still exists around the pitch. I think the fact that they're focused more on the blue in the kit's design than the white, which is something that I feel like they've gone away from a little bit in the last few years, I think it's quite nice. I believe they've just moved to Macron, because I think they had Puma last year, and the ones under Puma were not great. But this one, it's all right. It pains me to say this, but no, I think it's quite nice. So I have a heavy heart saying this, but I believe West Brom should get a 6.5 out of 10 for this kit. Hurts my soul to give it a higher ranking than the Wolves kit, but it's the reality of it, unfortunately. Sorry guys. Well, there we have it. There's my opinions on all of the Championship home kits this season. Did you guys agree with my ratings for each of them? Did you think I was chatting a load of wass? You know, bare rubbish fan? If you did, leave your opinions down in the comments. Remember to leave a like on the video. If you dislike the video, leave a like on the video still. Remember to subscribe, and if you feel like you already are, double check, and remember to click that notification bell. Hopefully, those Premier League third kits will be released soon, so that I can just get that out of the way, because otherwise it's going to hang over my head like the sword of Damocles. But until that time, I've been your boy, MiamoJeff53. Thank you for watching, and good night.